Hello everyone and welcome to the ScratchRunning Podcast, the official podcast of competitive browser gaming, where our motto is, cool kid, so cool. As always, I'm your host Kieran, and with me on the mic are Apfellord, Clabs, and Ari, also known as Phantom Forces X. That's his nickname in the group chat.
Yeah.
It's Arc. ARC.
Hello.
ARC.
What is up?
The funny. It's this guy.
Salutations, Arc.
When will our motto be Wow, Shkoopy?
Wow,
true.
Shloopy.
Wow.
The Adventures of Shloopy and Friends.
Nick was just telling me that his life has been infected by Shloopy voices before we got
I
on
cannot
the
say
podcast.
wow to somebody like immediately afterwards having to follow with Shkoopy.
Wow, Shloopy.
Wow, Shloopy.
It's not
This,
possible anymore.
What an incredible outing, Shloopy. Having a great day.
it's like me whenever I see peppermint milkshake, orange juice, or satisfied.wave, I just think of Ty's Brewery.
Tries Brewery just starts
Right.
creeping in, tugging your shoulder.
This game haunts me.
You can't go back, Kieran. You can't go back.
I cannot go back to the brewery.
Either way, lots has happened. First of all, thank you for joining us again, Arc. It's awesome to have you back.
Thanks.
You've been busy working on lots of stuff, and also like I guess college.
yeah. I've been working on like background, the background music OSTs for the games, the big ones,
Various stuff.
and I've been.
Thank you, Ark.
You're welcome. I just had a stroke. Anyway,
Hey, it happens to the best of us.
It happens to the best.
yeah, I've just been busy.
How does it feel knowing that none of those games will ever come out?
Oh, that just sounds like my own
You
project.
missed
yeah.
the. You
Unfortunately.
missed
Surely, this is dude. It's scratch running. These games are going to come out in like 5 years, and you're never going to notice.
Oh yeah.
It's
the.
okay.
You
Yeah.
piece. Listen.
These are.
I think
Yeah.
Gumblegurt 2, the hitch on Gumblegurt 2 was fully getting the story all concise.
Yeah.
And part of the ARGs I've been doing is to slowly kind of build it for myself so I can get some ideas of how I'm going to be incorporating a story into Gumblegurt.
Oh my! Is it like? Okay, like the question is silly. Like, are you done? But is it like how much has that helped? Because that's such a cool
it's a
way
lot.
of going about it.
It's helped a lot. I already I have an idea of
crazy.
probably where all the like common venture stuff is heading, and it helps me get a much better
Goodness.
idea how I'm gonna build up from the
Right,
groundwork.
Gumblegurt 2. No spoilers. I want to play through this
Yeah.
game when it comes out.
For sure.
That's you're a clever man. Let me tell you.
Thank
You're
you.
a very clever
Dude,
man. That is a
Hop
very
on
cool-
Gumblegurt 2. That's become the next Hop on Melee.
Yes. Can't wait. It's gonna be great. Also, like, can I just say we've had a fun, in quotation marks, fun episode last time with April Fools, and I'm glad
Dude,
to be
I
able to talk
yeah.
normally again.
Dude, I particularly had a very fun episode with the after show.
That's true.
Just in
That's
case
true.
anyone missed it, subscribe to Scratch Running.
I was really thinking of putting that one on Scratch 2. I think the reason I didn't was like half time and half like I don't know, it would feel weird. But
I put it on the podcast
Oh, yeah.
capture thing.
You know, Klongo
Yeah.
4 was a rowdy guest, but I actually did enjoy listening to that episode.
that's true.
I did not
Was
enjoy
fun.
recording it, but I get the joke.
Some of the stuff he said, it's very funny.
We should have added
That's so
dodecahedron to the ed menu for that episode.
That's true.
Oh, true.
That is true.
I feel like Dodecahedron would be a solid emo, but we're out of space at this point anyways.
Pain.
I will see. We still have like 2 poll cloud.
We still have
variables.
whole cloud variables.
Look, I.
Hey, dude, Clouds, let me tell you, the previously on the Scratch Running Podcast, we ran a poll asking which feature from Scratch 1.4 was the best.
Right.
Oh, okay. I have
so,
strong opinions about this.
yeah.
Wanna read us the
7% said 5 megabyte project size maximum.
What?
Mm.
Yeah. 13% said a limited color palette.
What?
Oh yeah.
20% said the project window on the right side of the editor. Kind of
That's
true.
pretty good.
That's true.
pretty good.
That's true.
And then 61% said importing new fonts, which is something you can do, I think.
That's
That was like
actually
the
in
actual real
1.4.
answer.
It's like an actual thing they had in 1.4.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's like the real answer. The rest was all joke. Like
so if you're part of
jokingly
the
said,
if you're
but-
part of the 39%, get April fooled.
Honestly, I'm part of the 7% that thinks that only 5 megabytes is all we truly needed.
is a thing where people say like if you wanna stress out like an artist, give them an infinite budget, right? Or, like,
True.
Tell them
Yeah,
you
because
can do
like, what are they
anything.
gonna do with it?
Right.
Yeah,
If you
restrict
tell-
us more, Scratch, please. I have too many
Yes.
tools at my hands.
Mm.
Remove
Remove
the
more
list
blocks.
blocks. Please remove the list blocks. They are too confusing for
Please.
beginner scratchers.
Yeah,
Can
make
we
it easier
get rid
for the
of
kids.
clones?
Make it easier for the
they're
kids.
too-
Make it harder for me.
True.
Please.
Yeah. At some point, Scratch 4 is just gonna be the blocks we had in
Scratch
1.0.
Junior.
Yeah. Yes.
Junior. Wait, does that even exist? still?
Yes.
Scratch Junior.
Yeah.
I have no clue.
No,
I
it
have no
does.
clue.
It's real.
fairly
It's an
certain it
iOS app.
does.
Wow.
Only iOS.
I think it's probably also on
Um,
Android, but it's mostly iPad users.
If I were to garner, there's probably a desktop edition as well. But I do know there is at least a mobile
Yeah.
version.
I doubt it.
We should do an after show where we each program like a thing in 5 minutes.
Absolutely.
Scratch
On
Junior.
Scratch Junior.
If there's a
That's
desktop
probably
version, I'm down.
probably not
but,
going
like,
to be probably not going to be this episode though.
No,
No.
probably not. But recording on
This
phone
episode-
is like annoying, so that might
Mm.
if it's only mobile, then maybe not.
That's
Then
true.
maybe we can't even do it.
Ark, what have you been up to in Scratch recently, if at all, anything? Like, I think it's been long enough that maybe there's something to uncover here again.
Okay.
you know?
Well, since the last time I've been on, which was I think, has it been like
Oh, goodness.
13 episodes ago?
Let me figure out. Hold on. The last time you
Alright.
were on was in episode
20. I think 20.
20.
Yeah.
It's 20. It's a Spooky Stories
Wow.
2. Crazy.
Wow.
That's
It has been
a
it's
while.
been a year.
It's been a year.
Man.
It's been an actual year.
Okay,
No, okay.
So since then, I'm assuming it's been a year. Yeah. So since then, I've been working on various things. One of the main things I was working on that I've kind of shelved for now is this thing that I call OPS, which is I already forgot the name of it, but I think it's like a well, not that I think it's basic.
Yeah.
It's basically
All
this
good.
system where I implement implement this system into multiplayer games, and the idea is
Mhm.
people who are playing can play the game, and then people who are watching, they can actually watch. It's like a stream.
Ooh.
Ooh,
So-
spectator mode.
Yeah, spectator mode. And there's this whole concept of where it's basically a multiplayer stream framework, allows viewers, players, and then the host to access the game. Okay, I found the
Sounds
name.
incredible.
I found the name for it. It's called Operator Player Spectator, and it acts as
Nice.
overhead. And so basically, I made this in with Gumball 2 and Taranga in mind.
Mhm.
And basically, the
Nice.
idea is, say, like we can set up tourneys, and maybe
Oh, goodness.
Collab's project, like we could start one with like the SRCast eventually.
Yo.
Maybe it could be like
I would love to.
Quite versus Robot, and then while they're playing, we could just
Wow.
like watch, and anybody can just come in and watch at any time, which is the idea where somebody is managing like the cloud variables, so they store all the data that's going on. A new viewer walks in, they're like, "Hey, hit me up with all the data," and the host just automatically sends the data to them, and then they can watch right from the start all the way to what's going on at current or at present.
That sounds incredible.
That
like
sounds
even better
awesome.
that it's gonna be like okay if it works as
If this works
well,
as
as your-
intended on scratch.mit.edu, this is huge.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like people can just implement this and okay, obviously they need to have a lot of knowledge about how cloud stuff works so they can
Yeah.
make their game with it. But
You could watch me play
still-
Monster Melee in real time.
Yeah.
To anyone who is zoning out, basically it keeps track of what each player did and records it in like a list of like just integers or just numbers. Like you can have a bunch of numbers that represent each action, and then you send it over cloud to the someone who wants to watch, and then it just takes each of the numbers and very quickly processes all of them to bring you up to the current state, and then it starts syncing in real time to do each of the moves you perform.
that's awesome.
That's cool.
That does sound incredible. How far are you with it right now? Or like you saying it was shelved for a bit?
I basically got the system to connect. So right now I have a sort of like a client interface where basically the watcher, and I have a host interface, which is basically me who controls the thing from the background. So I can quote unquote close a stream or open up a stream, and when the stream is closed, it'll show like tourney times, like when's the next event, etc.
That's so cool.
And then on the fly, if I just type in like / start, then any person who's already on the project will see their screen change instantly once they get that cloud variable.
And that's cool with Scratch Team too, if it's like over, because it's running over different.
It's over cloud variables, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, it should be fine.
I have no clue if they're like okay with this, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't violate anything. So.
No, there's no way that'd be a problem because as long as you're not sending like text, it's the same thing you would be sending over cloud anyways. It's just you're just doing it really quickly.
There are Scratch users that use external APIs to do things.
Oh yeah,
like ILHP. I think is the name.
The Scratch profile searcher.
Yeah. Scratch. Yeah, users like that. I like those kinds of Scratch accounts.
Or the thing that tells you what Griff patch number you have, which is basically like how many.
Hey, what's your Griff patch number, bro?
What is the Griff patch number to explain to people? Because I probably cannot explain it in a good way.
It's degrees of separation.
It's degrees of separation from
between your account and Griff patches.
Yeah. So Griff patch is following Kevin11, who is following @PhilLord, who is following ScratchRunning.
So ScratchRunning has a Griff patch number of 3.
3.
Which is funny. I just like that project also that figures out that Griff patch number also obviously has to connect to some.
Yeah, it has to connect to api.scratch.mit.edu.
Nick, you're like the keystone for a lot of like our group and our like center of influence to have a higher Griff patch number.
or a lower
like everyone I know, it's like it goes from Kevin11 to you to like someone in ScratchRunning and then to like AK and then the kid or something.
Yeah. That's kind of cool. Like I think I don't know why Kevin11 started following me. Maybe he saw Taranga at some or Monster World at some point, or maybe it was even before that. I'm unsure. But it's pretty cool having a Griff patch number of 2. Not gonna lie.
That is such a weird flex.
It is an incredibly weird flex. Griff patch is just a dude.
He's just one guy.
But like, he's become such a I don't know.
He's a powerful influence over Scratch. Scratch is the smallest site to ever exist.
It's such like, a small site.
Dude, this freaking Minecraft admin knows a guy who knows me. I'm so freaking hyped.
It's like the kid saying my dad made I don't know, Pokemon or something.
No, it's not.
It's not even. It's not even an uncle who works at Nintendo. It's just
he has like 200. He has 200,000 followers. The average YouTuber, like goof animator or like Picru showcaser gacha user, probably has like 5 times as many followers as Griff Patch. That's not to devalue Griff Patch.
Yeah.
Griff Patch is he's a very good educator and he does showcase very good.
His tutorials are very very in depth.
Then they shape Scratch. Like kids learn all sorts of awesome new techniques from watching Griff Patch. But
dude, just like looking at his YouTube tutorials is crazy. Like the stuff he's figuring out right now with the.
Wait, isn't his most recent series 3D project?
It is 3D.
Leads into a lot of things you might have to say because you've been on the 3D. You've been on the 3D train.
I've been on the 3D train, and like to finish my thought, it's just he does a lot of things, but in the end of the day. Do not idolize this man. He is just a guy, and it's not healthy to put people too high in a pedestal. But in any case,
wouldn't want it either.
This guy's awesome. I really do like him because he made an incredible 3D engine series. So I got to be a little bit of a hypocrite because I do think what he's doing is pretty cool.
I do respect everything he's made on scratch.mit.edu.
This is very good content.
So, Klabs, you've been working on 3D. learning a thing or two from him?
I actually have been learning a thing or two from him, mainly with ray casting, which I thought was very smart. So I still am probably going to make this game, but I've been a little discouraged by a very silly and should have been obvious realization. It's a first-person game where you play on a submarine and you go around the ocean and take pictures of cephalopods.
What are cephalopods?
Octopuses, squids, cuttlefish, nautili.
Hell yeah.
And a lot of, I'm gonna do some. They're gonna be all like fictitious little octopus.
You might have to model them.
Yeah. Also, I didn't really like the octopi themselves. Were gonna probably just be like PNGs, and then the terrain would be 3D. Mainly because I like that aesthetic. It's not even like a lazy thing. It's just
that's very cool. Isn't that what Super Mario 64 does?
Yeah, basically, it would look like that, but with a submarine and octopus. But the problem is you can't do
SM64 tree.
You can't lock the mouse. You cannot lock a mouse into a Scratch game. True. And so it's like the whole point of the first person perspective is to try and bring you into the character. But you feel a lot less like you're a character when you have to use like tank controls to move the head up and down and shift the body.
So you want it to be a 360 degree view? Like
I want you to be able to look up, look down. I want you to...
but like I'm thinking if you made it so like if the mouse is in the center, you're looking at X0, Y0, Z0. But then like going all the way to the right with the mouse would be all the way around. It wouldn't. Obviously, you couldn't lock the mouse, but maybe make it so, the rightmost point for the mouse is then the rightmost point.
Okay, you do that for like the Ed trophies, and it's actually a little scuffed.
No, it's not even that. No, they don't. The way with the Ed trophies is just if you move your mouse, that increment is added to the velocity, and so
the Edward Mug project. That's messed up.
Has everybody seen the Ed Menu Mug project?
Edward Mug.
Yeah, actually.
Edward Mug.
Edward
But
Mug.
the problem is
real.
if your mouse leaves the screen, then any point in which you bring the mouse back onto the screen is going to be the max velocity for that vector. So if it pops out of the screen and then you bring your mouse to the top of the screen, your head just flips upwards.
It's just going to spin.
Isn't it possible to also work with was it coordinates outside of the main window in Scratch? Can't you work with minus 400 or something?
I don't think you can detect the mouse outside of that range.
Yeah, I don't think it's detectable. I was thinking though, maybe you could run like a dead zone at the center of the screen, and then if your mouse moves up, that's like a upward motion, and like.
I was like a controller.
Yeah,
I might do that. I might even just put like a little like mobile controller on the bottom right, and then like a click on the bottom left or something.
I mean, if there are arrow camera controls and I play it with a controller using website, then I should be fine.
Turbo Warp.
Yeah.
So anyway, to anyone who is very curious to what Octopus Game meant, that's what Octopus Game is. There may or may not also be some story aspects to your photographic journey, your marine photographic journey.
Pokemon Snap with squids.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah,
it is. Cephalid Snap.
Squid Snap.
Squid Games.
Squid Games. It's a cool idea for sure, and I guess Scratch does not have enough 3D stuff yet, which might change very soon.
It
So
should
how many
be.
side
Like,
projects do you have now?
people are popping up with a lot of 3D games. I think I put that in the mentions. We're going to talk about Balloon Island, I think it's called.
Balloon Island.
I've heard of that.
You shared it with me. I played a little bit of it.
I think people have always had the ability to make 3D games, but I don't think people were... In the same way people have always had access to lists in Scratch, they often use them in ways that were kind of either like, I made an emulator. Oh, that's extremely impressive. However, you're just taking someone else's work. Or like, I made Minecraft. Oh, that's extremely impressive. You're still just taking someone else's work. I think we're going to start finding people who are making like original 3D games. I think Balloon Island shows kind of the mark where people are starting to use this skill in a way that's a little more original.
Crystal Seeker is still in the Turbo Warp featured projects, I think.
That's a good, yeah, for sure. And
That's a good 3D game.
I think that's probably the catalyst that like kind of started, but I think that game's engine is still a little too complicated for a lot of like people to get into 3D, and I think Griffbatch is helping people get into 3D a little bit easier.
For sure.
Good.
You ever think Scratch is gonna make the move to like? You think Scratch team would ever make add support for 3D stuff?
This is actually in the forum thread of things they won't do.
Oh,
Really?
Really?
Oh, I forgot about that one.
What was the reasoning?
Because there are other block-oriented programs that do 3D. So
Is that so?
actually just move on to something else. You just have to Chirpy Reverie.
Oh,
You just have to
I guess
Chirpy Reverie move on. Well, I mean, it does. I kind of. It makes me sad. Because
Kind of.
I remember when Biob, the Build Your Own Blogs, first came out.
Yeah.
And they basically were trying to get Scratch to become something great. And like something that even college students could use as an entry-level programming language. Now I will say, Biob, like a villain, maybe took it too far. If you go to their site now and try it, it's kind of incomprehensible. But I think there's a grain of truth to sometimes Scratch avoids adding options that would make their language more accessible for like more advanced programming, with the excuse that it's just for kids. When I think they underestimate kids. I think kids are making more and more complex stuff by the day.
They're making moves.
Yeah, I see like 15-year-olds programming extremely advanced physics engines, like entire worlds. And maybe the wish comes from a hope that like the community still remains like a younger community. And I think I understand that. But I think Scratch has built such a brand that no matter how advanced they make it, it's probably not going to attract a bunch of epic gamer.
Wait, you said 15-year-old, and I just thought about Super Endless because you either favorited or shared with me 3D Editor.
Yeah.
And it's a whole.
Was that
Yeah.
made by a kid? I forget.
Yeah, Super Endless
wow.
made the 3D editor that you showed me.
Let me.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Goodness.
There's also
Yeah, that's a 15-year-old. That 15-year-old kid made. Oh my good! I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I checked their profile because I saw Square Battle as well.
Yeah, this kid, 15 years old, Super Endless, made the most like incredible 3D editor I've ever seen. And I think if Scratch embraced these scratches, they would be helping like the future generation of engineers and programmers by giving them more tools to work in this program. Now I understand if it's like, well, if they're so good, they should move to a new programming language. But it's not that simple. It's not that simple. Scratch has a lot of like friends and community, and sometimes it's more than just a programming language to a lot of Scratch.
Thank you for saying 15 instead of 16 and reminding me of Super Endless.
No, it's true. Like, I think it's easy to say, oh, just move on or whatever, but Scratch does have something that I think no other website has. For what I've seen, no other website has, yes.
I think there are ones that approach it, but I think those websites often have terrible communities that like were created during an early time of the internet. I'm not going to name them here.
No.
But I can name Friday Night Funkin', which came from this site, and this site has some of the most aggressive and bigoted people I've ever seen. And I know a lot of young scratchers who like Friday Night Funkin' are like, oh, I'm going to move to this site. It's another community programming site. Don't get lured there, my friends. It's not a good website. It's not.
If you like making browser games, then just learn JavaScript. Do what the Google Doodles do and just have the game be in HTML.
Yep.
Yeah, but then it's
Oh,
still
man.
it's hard to share it. You know, it's hard to
Yeah,
find.
it's
It's hard to find a. I think Scratch does something so unique, and I think
It's got the
because
share
it's
button.
done it so well, and I would love to see it grow because I know it can, and I know if it did, it would be only good. It would only do good things, and I think it's just anxiety that kind of holds them back.
That's like the thing. Like we have, I don't know when Scratch Labs, like how long that was ago, but um, thinking about how they not only don't want to make big steps whatsoever, they just like are. I don't know if they're afraid or don't have the time to add anything at all to the website
Right.
or to the program.
Those blocks would have been so cool. People are like
Yeah.
making like VTuber projects that if there was facial tracking added to Scratch, it would be so
Hey.
much cooler.
Yeah.
Hey, Fire Mero, you wanna look at those Scratch Labs?
Yeah, if Fire Marrow took his VTuber Scratch engine and added the Scratch Labs facial tracking, you would actually be able to have a like a VR facial tracked character model in Scratch that would look
On
very good.
scratch.mit.edu.
I think that
Who's-
would be
who's
so
this guy?
cool.
Who's this guy?
We actually know him. He's I think he was in the if I recall, and I don't take this wrong if this is incorrect or
all
if it is
good.
correct. I think that they're in the Code Breakers community. They used to be a little more active, but they made a project with like VTuber physics. Now, actually, I need to remember if they made it or if it was taken from someone else.
But what does that
they made
mean for the people who don't know?
Oh,
like me, for example.
Oh,
right?
so it's
YouTuber.
like a bunch of layers of PNGs, and basically it emulates a 3D model. It's like fake 3D. It's like 2.5D, and it move like you can move your head around, and it has realistic physics.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
and
so
like
cool.
you can like open the mouth and do expressions. But imagine that with like if it just connected to your face. Using
That would have been cooler with the Scratch Labs.
That is so cool. Hold space to blink. That is amazing.
Yeah,
right.
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, Scratch could do a lot of stuff. Is what it boils down to. Why they don't? I feel like I don't know. Yes, you're right. It's always the
Weren't you gonna go to the 15th anniversary of Scratch and just ask, "Hello, Scratch team"?
I
Earlier
considered
last year.
considered hopping into the Scratch Team Q&A and
Please.
proposing that they perhaps increase the JSON file size limit to 8
Do it.
That'd be
megabytes or
great.
something.
that'd be great.
I
That
think
would be very
I
helpful.
think the real slice is that they can't change just the JSON. They have to change all file size limits.
Yeah,
So I propose a middle ground of 8 megabytes per asset. That's
Yeah.
my proposal.
yeah.
Sure.
Because
Like,
people put
why
so many
not?
sound files. People put so many sound files in their projects anyway that it racks up to like 200 megabytes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could just put a like maximum file size on a project in general. Like
Well,
Or if they made it yeah, just make it a gigabyte.
there are 3 gigabyte projects out there.
this is true.
Yeah.
Why is that a thing?
I don't think they want to stop malicious actors, but I do think malicious actors will always just be malicious, and you shouldn't punish people who are trying to do some cool stuff on the website. Because I don't think they're necessarily trying to punish. I don't think they see it like that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to
But-
break some code.
If people just trying to break some code, trying to make code breakers was so hard because we had to work around the 5 megabyte file size. Maybe it has to do with the fact that it loads harder the more JSON it is. But I think the vectors are honestly the thing that kills Scratch loading the most, from my experience, anyways. When you have like 100 vectors, that's like way
Could be
worse
it.
than having like 100 bitmaps or a bunch of blocks of code.
Arc, can we mention that thing already with the music and or is that a thing you're still working on with? You had this idea for like a tutorial ish.
The series, yeah. So I've been planning on making like tutorials on, or not just tutorials, but just like a little Arcs corner for the SRCast as
Yeah.
a side series.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I don't have an exact plan for it, but the general idea is I will be making music as usual for games like what's already been mentioned, like Turinga, Monster, well, that's the same thing. Goomba Girls
Goomba
2,
Gurt to
and the like. So I'll be making that stuff, and then I think I will be providing tips on like my process on making the music, so people can learn how to do it themselves. Because I want to expand the music community on Scratch.
Absolutely.
very
that's the thing
true.
that's
We need more
unexplored.
musicians on scratch.mit.edu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm thinking that just me alone talking for maybe like 20 minutes is going to be an interesting experience. So
Well, if you want to invite somebody.
yeah, I might invite some, guest artists. We have quite a couple of those here.
The Block Talk guys are in this server. Maybe you could get them.
Oh, true.
Oh yeah. Yeah. One thing I think that makes a lot of sense, like the reason why the music creating community, like the musicians community on Scratch, is maybe a little smaller than the others, is simply because Scratch does not directly offer you a very easy way to make good sounding music, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right, it's not in the program.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you have to have something completely, a different program.
You
which
need a DAW.
Yeah.
That isn't
Yeah.
Scratch Note blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh, what if that sounds like a good idea. Now I wanna make rhinestones on the Scratch Note blocks.
It would be
it's
awesome
not fun
if
to use
Scratch
those.
had that, like just like
No
we
way.
have a
There's no
bitmap
way.
editor.
There's
Never.
no way. There
No
would
way,
be
I
a
know.
W.
I know, but like, how cool would it be, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there are MIDI to Scratch Note block.
I
But then again, you still need a DAW. You still need a block.
you're right, Nick. It would be really cool, but it's just like even using a normal like music creation software is just like the most complex array
True.
of buttons and like
I installed
mini
LMMS like a
converters.
year ago, and I still don't know how to use it.
You have like 7 tiny pianos on your screen,
True.
all using different sound fonts, and you need to like re-loop your music. And it's if Scratch has certain difficulties with own UI, I think that the UI for a Scratch music creator would probably give me nightmares.
True.
You're probably right. Although they made programming very simple, why not also?
Yeah.
I agree a lot. Like I agree with a lot of your points. It is probably not the first thing they would think about.
Yeah, I think
But, hey.
it has a lot. It's like similar to like 3D engines where there's just a lot that needs to be done in order to get the system on. I don't think it's worth the investment for them, like to do such things where they could be placing their time in something else, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't know if Scratch should ever add an actual straight 3D engine. What I do think they could do is support current like development of 3D using their 2D software to be easier and like less laggy. Like there's definitely ways they can make texture mapping not kill every single project that tries to do it.
True.
Luckily, this fisheye block thing that was discovered.
Oh, let's talk about that.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
Yes, please.
That helps a lot. Like, and if they remove it, I'm gonna be so sad because it helps so much. I think. Like, I'm not
Okay,
sure.
so
but
Claps, what are we talking about here? What is the fisheye thing?
you can use a fisheye block alongside like custom blocks. And I don't understand entirely how it works because it looks like it does have something to do with the vectors. But you can stretch a sprite in like any way. You can stretch it like sideways, you can stretch it up and down, you can stretch it diagonally, which lets you render that stretch and make it look like it's 3D because you can spin it around using the different stretchiness.
Yeah, you can do the Paper Mario spin for like things.
yes.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
This is a
Like,
pretty
this is something-
big discovery.
It's such a big discovery. Like
We're
something
definitely
that
putting it in the SRCast mentioned projects.
we could have had this as just a block, but no, people found
Well,
out a way to a roundabout way to do it.
Nick, we did have a block for this, remember?
We had one. That's the worst part.
We had the stretch block, remember?
We had a stretch block.
It wasn't very good though. It
No,
wouldn't.
but
It
come
wouldn't do
on.
this. It would not. It would definitely not do
No.
this.
But it like this is granted a bit complex to use. It's not just import a sprite here or import your costume here and run this set of blocks and you're fine. You actually have to know how big the costume is and like change some variables based on that. But like I actually like in the I guess 10 minutes
There's actually documentation. The first
Yeah.
Scratch user to ever do it.
I know this is like the Rosetta Stone of 3D for 2D scratchers.
kind of. And this is pretty incredible. Like please check it out. It's in the mentioned projects. This is kind of awesome. Like the fact that people still find a way to circumvent like blocks we're missing.
Yeah.
Or like
Scratch gives you a problem and you learn how to solve it. Kieran
Exactly.
K-Trav258 Travis in like the 5th episode, the 3rd
Dude,
episode, the 1st.
I feel like we've been saying that so often. Yeah, it's just
We've been doing this since the beginning. This is what this
Every
podcast
time.
is about.
Scratch is not only about programming; it's about
Imagine.
imagining
Mhm.
and finding solutions to problems Scratch offers you, or
Yeah.
things Scratch does not let you do until you find a way to kind of like a roundabout way to do it,
Yeah.
which is awesome. I cannot wait.
That's where the real
to
fun
use this.
is.
Exploring the limits.
I've
of
been thinking
Scratch.
about importing this for Taranga and just saying screw it to all animations I've been making for enemies.
Yeah, and just
And
use
just
the
making them like
squishy.
Bob. Yeah. Because that's
Make a-
amazing.
Like, I mean, that's what
looks
a lot
good.
of Flash games basically do.
Because it works.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it doesn't look as good though. Let's be honest. It
That's
doesn't look as good.
Dude, if done correctly, I mean, yes, it does not look as
Clean.
detailed or polished or
Yeah,
You can tell
turn
when
all the
somebody has
enemies
put in the
into
time.
jelly. They go. Bleh, bleh, bleh.
I don't care. Like at this point,
I mean, you're kind of close to getting all the enemies done anyway, though, aren't you?
yeah, that's true. That's
So
true.
you don't gotta do that.
At
Yeah,
this
Maybe
point,
next game,
Fell
like-
out 6.
one thing I've been thinking about is like for animations in general, like UI animations and stuff. I've been searching for a way to make something look like it's disappearing.
Mhm.
What I use now is when I want to like show that a card is being removed or an ability is being removed from your list of abilities. I'm really trying hard here not to say card and deck. You can tell.
Yeah.
I'm not Slay the Spire. Please don't at me.
You know
but
what
there's
else
another
isn't Slay
game.
the Spire?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
We'll
in a
get to
second, but-
that. We'll get to that.
What I use is the pixelate block. So it, like
Yeah.
it's like a little fadeaway and then the
Disintegrates
ghost block.
into the void.
Yeah. So like ghost and pixelate is a good way to show that something is being removed. But still, it would be really cool to have like those shoop. It just like shrinks.
Shloop.
Shloop. That'd be amazing. I'm sure it can be used for so many other things. Let's say a little arrow, right? Is moving, and so you can do the squish,
Yeah.
the slime animation.
Yeah, I could see that.
It's a great thing. It's a great thing to make you not have to make different animation sprites for something, costumes.
I'll
Nice.
believe it sticks. Hope that because that's definitely something I can see them
Yeah.
just like.
I can see
hotfix, removed a fisheye bug. Oopsie.
It's not a bug. It's a feature.
It's a feature
Wow.
now, unless
It's
they
a
make a block
feature.
to account like to make it up. Don't remove it. Scratch. it.
Please,
Don't you
we
dare.
need this. We need just a crumb of advanced techniques.
Also, who made this project? It was Jenija.
Jenny.
You know what else isn't Slay the Spire? Scratch's card game by PandaCon7.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good game, man.
Yeah. The difference between Scratch's card game and Slay the Spire is that in Scratch's card game, the deck, like adding a new card is permanent, and exhausting a card is also permanent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually really like how they The game is very cleverly made. There was a Japanese version of this before, if I'm correct.
Yeah, same
and
guy.
then they
it's
made
just,
an English
it's ju-
version.
yeah,
Honestly, like I feel like this game has a lot more thought put into it than Monster World in terms of like what abilities do and when certain enemies appear and what like they do.
Yeah.
The game is difficult too. Like the
game's
standard mode
difficult.
is pretty hard. I couldn't get past the dragon,
Really?
although I did only play it once.
I see.
Ark found a way to, well, obviously, okay, if you
I found like 4 ways actually, but yeah. It was
min-max.
hard at the beginning, and then I realized there's a lot of. It's really well thought out to the point where there's a lot of gimmicks you can do that I think are intentional.
there are a lot of
Yeah.
synergies.
Yeah.
I did notice there is one card that's heavy armor, and then another card that says deal damage equal to your block.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
yeah,
And then
classic.
apparently a couple mechanics were overhealing is a thing where if you heal past
What?
if you're max health and you heal, you actually increase your max health. I don't know if that's intentional, but there's a card called Demon in the game where it doubles your
Yes.
health and it
Yeah.
basically permanently doubles your max health.
Why
Nice.
I was thinking the same thing. Like, okay, it exhausts, so it only works once, and I feel like it's a natural progression where, like, I don't know how often you're able to use or find that if you actually fish for it.
I ran a
Yeah.
burn deck, so I burned all the cards I had, and I have a nitpick to say about pickaxe. Oh man, that card you
Draw
play it,
2 cards.
you play it, and it gives you value, and at some point it breaks the game. I don't know what happens, but my game breaks every time I play it, so I burned that card. But
Nice.
yeah, there's a lot of really cool features in that game, like the shield block, shield slam sort of thing. I personally played the extreme HP demon new card spam, where I would just spam exhaust cards until I found demon and then play it against the first
Yeah.
mob. There's so many fun
I see.
strats.
Yeah, the only problem with the trash card is that it exhausts itself.
True.
I think.
Yeah. Can you permanently exhaust the add a new card to your deck
You
card?
probably can.
It's not so much that it's your my deck by the time I finished like my 20 demon spams was I think I had like 56 card deck,
Oh my goodness.
and I would just go to the swordsman because the swordsman has this the swordsman is like strategically placed too because it has like burn
Yeah.
cards, and the burn cards he gives you 2, and what those do is like trash. He gives you a free trash to clear all the bad cards in your hand.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and as long as you have
Nice.
28 million health, then I'm pretty sure you can do it.
Same with how the coins is like placed right after. There's an enemy
the
called
coins,
that
yeah, the
just
coins
gives
are
you
placed
good
right
cards.
after the snake.
I'll have to try out this game. I didn't give it a shot.
It's really good. It's really well made. It's a fun time.
Scratch's card game. I have yet to beat it at standard decks,
Yeah.
but I will.
I feel like this is a very this is if you make, obviously like a Slay the Spire-ish game like Monster
Yeah.
World, but actually don't try to fight the Jason file size limit like I did. It's like the most compact version of this that works really well. And
If
it's
you
honestly
like
really good.
Monster World, you should try going outside.
Yeah.
Actually, no, play Scratch's card game.
You like Monster World? You should start touching grass.
Yeah, the grasslands are a pretty nice place. You go there IRL.
True.
Nice. Very nice. Is it like a thing that happens often on Scratch where somebody takes a popular game design and like compacts into Scratch friendly format and that
Well-
somehow makes it like
I feel like
Not
it
better,
happens. It
maybe?
happens a lot with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for the Nintendo Switch.
I'd say it just happens. Yeah, that's like an example. I think it absolutely happens a lot, and that's kind of one thing that actually makes me a little sad. Is I do wish people would try and branch out and be try to
Yeah.
be a little more original with their concepts.
yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
But I don't know. Monster World also just started out as me trying to see if I could make a Slay the Spire-ish game, and then since everything I think about in a creative sense is always Monster World related, always help
Yeah,
me,
right.
is I
happens.
just like I thought, wait, this is a perfect engine to make a Monster World game out of, and
Yeah,
here I
the
am.
more you
5
add
years later.
the more you add your own spins to it, I think the better. Like the more
Yeah,
you
sure,
make it your own
sure.
thing.
Yeah, more originality.
Taranga is Nick's Candle World.
Kind of Like as soon as it has like unique characters, unique creatures, unique concepts.
Yeah, then
Yeah.
you're
Story.
getting pretty good.
Then you're good.
Yeah. Not to say Scratch's card game is lazy by any stretch. It's like it's again, I'll say like this game is more thought out than mine. Like
From what it looks
gameplay-
like,
always
it has
Honestly,
it
the
has-
gameplay it seems balanced.
It has strong gameplay, but I think they could have benefited from investing in their world with their own creativeness.
That's true. It's always
Yeah.
a bonus, right?
I have a feeling that the enemies aren't Scratch default sprites. They were drawn
No.
by Panda-kun.
I think
They
so.
were, and pretty well too.
Mm.
Like it's a cool style. Very blocky. I don't know why. Maybe he likes Minecraft.
And it's just using the line tool in Scratch Vector.
There's something about Japanese scratchers that I always feel like
The
I don't want to.
Japanese community on Scratch
Yeah.
is almost as big as the English one.
And there's some really really cool stuff that comes out of the Japanese scratch.
I
community.
agree.
Yeah.
Every now and then, I'm like very surprised by what they make.
Whenever
crazy.
a Japanese Scratch project, because like all languages on Scratch share the same front page,
Mhm.
so whenever a Japanese project gets on top loved, there's always one English commenter that just cannot understand the comments.
Oh, there's far more than one.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
so
that's-
many. Where it's like
that's a
I
lot.
can't even understand.
I can't read this
Translate the
project.
game. What the heck?
Wah.
I've never
Okay,
been
dude.
exposed to another culture in my entire life.
Hey, I don't want to be that guy. That's all
No.
I'm saying.
But Panda-kun, I guess, listened and made it an English
Yeah.
version, and here we are.
Scratch's
now
card
knowing
game.
about this.
On this topic, I did want to add a thing to Gumblegroot too, to automatically translate all the text on screen and then use text to speech depending on like a language selection at the start of the game.
Yeah.
Which doesn't like make the graphics look better, but it does make the game more accessible.
Yeah. I thought about doing
That
the
is
same
cool.
thing since I have the text engine now, just making it translate,
Mhm.
automatically. There's a lot of problems that come with that.
I mean, you could actually localize it into German, so
Yeah,
I mean,
you could
that's
do
true.
that. The problem is like fonts. Like if you're stamping a
Yeah.
font, you're not gonna have all the proper like letters
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
things. That's why I just wanted to do like voice, which would then be less accessible to a deaf
People who-
person. And
yeah.
they're like, all right, I'll add a speech bubble, and then that might work.
Yeah.
And just
Oh,
make sure I
no.
move the metadata. And then,
I just
then
thought
you'll-
about like
Oh,
if I did
no.
this for Taranga, and like every time you hovered over an ability, it would say the text out loud in like whatever language you're using. It would be awful.
Maybe you could. Well,
I mean, I personally would turn that off.
you could make a key. Well, you could make a key where if you press a key while you're hovering over it, maybe.
I like that.
True.
Yeah.
Holy smokes, dude! That's
You're good at this.
And if you want to make it
good at
mobile
this.
friendly, you could click a button and then hover over a thing, and then you could toggle it off if you wanted to.
True.
Jesus.
Like a little like mic icon, and then you just click it.
Yeah,
and
or
it
like
just toggles
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Claps. I need to. How much time you got on your hand?
Listen, I always love like one
How much
of my
money can I throw at
actual
you?
no. One of my actual passions is just discussing like ideas for games, which is why I'm in these communities and why I always
Wait,
rant
what?
about game ideas.
Like talk about games. What are you doing here?
For sure.
Please add chart with upwards trend to the Monster World text engine.
Sure. You know what? What? Okay. What letter do you want, or what character do you want for chart with upwards trend? One that we haven't used yet. I'm thinking like
I mean, you could make the costume name the chart with upwards trend emoji.
You
That's
can
true,
yeah, you
but
could
then-
just start taking ASCIIs.
True.
Oh,
using
no.
I vouch for
chart with
that.
upwards trend ASCII.
Yeah, I love using
Wait, that's
ASCII in my
possible?
code. Yep.
Yeah, you can. You absolutely can.
I'm
Yeah,
a
you
silly
can-
man. I've been using characters like I've been using.
Well, it's easier to type those characters, but sometimes
Yeah.
if it's something you don't need to do often, you,
You
should
don't,
do it.
dude.
ASCII.
Do you not have a hotkey for chart with upwards trend?
The dank paragraph character, or what it's called, is like now the it's like a crystal icon. You could just put that into text.
That's good.
Oh no. Okay.
Nice.
Anyway.
I just get scared when I do that because I have to add like a lot of command characters to like.
Yeah.
If I add like an and sign, it tells
Yeah.
it to stop. If I add a asterisk L, it
Yeah,
has
only
to generate
problem
an
is-
object.
These are actual things in JavaScript.
Which,
I don't know,
which
it's like-
funny enough, does sometimes mess with Scratch. Like if you add semicolons
Oh,
to
no.
a list block, it'll cut off all of the data when you try to import it.
True.
I think my project is still broken because of that.
It's not
Or
standard.
commas.
still
It's
something-
even commas. Just commas will break a list.
No.
Rough.
It's kind of amazing how sad it is. Okay, but there's no. There's a way to fix it though. Is if you have a certain modification to your Scratch engine, you can go to the data menu and you can just copy paste everything into the list using
Nice.
the data category.
Variables tab.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Lovely Scratch.
And at one point, when I was working on Code Breakers, I re-imported all of the bios,
Your
and
red
all the
website
commas were
too.
missing, and I had to manually recopy and paste each item because I didn't realize you could just use the
Wait, I
logo.
remember that actually. Yeah, I remember that.
That was kind of torture.
But that just messed with the list itself. I feel like the semicolon actually broke blocks in my project.
maybe
Like they turned into like full color blocks and didn't do anything, and like I don't know.
Yeah.
Still happens
man.
sometimes. I don't know if it's a thing that happens because of that or if
Yeah.
Taranga's actually hitting
Scratch.
the limit.
Scratch.mit.edu is a weird and wonderful place, and we are
That's
never
true.
going to truly know everything about it.
So yeah, we haven't even had Q&A, and I'm kind of amazed how much we were able to
Yeah.
talk
We
in this
already
episode.
my recording's already at 59 minutes, so you guys probably at 50.
I'm like at 55 here.
Ditto.
Wow.
It's kind of crazy. I wanted to talk about so much more, but I guess I will have to wait until either the after show or next episode.
I mean, we
As
talked about a
always-
lot of projects.
Yeah.
Honestly,
as always,
this has been a pretty big episode.
subscribe to ScratchRunning.
Subscribe to
check out the
ScratchRunning.
stuff we've been. Honestly, it's been like such a cool month for ScratchRunning in general. Today is also the premiere, or like it's going live on YouTube. The new Turbo Troubles episode, which is something
Oh yeah.
I'm
Turbo
so excited for
Troubles,
every time.
My new
Turbo
favorite game
Troubles.
show.
it's so fun. It's so very
It's really fun.
If you need to know what Turbo Troubles is, first of all,
Watch
you have a
it.
YouTube, watch it. But it's like a game show where we like Clabs gives us some random profiles and projects, and we have to guess their follows and views right based on what we're seeing, and like we also play a little, talk about them. It's so fun.
You guys, have you guys been enjoying SR Dice?
Yes, that's the other thing.
I have.
SR
So
Dice.
this is glorious.
So glorious. Alice and the Allies.
Alice
are
and the
here.
Allies, baby.
We're going to continue with that. We already have recorded episode 3.
Yeah.
And are busy editing that.
Yeah, do you have any more of that Core Keepers to edit, or is my video that I made
I
ready to
still
go?
have a core keeper or two to edit. We've
Okay,
been playing
yeah, that's
this
fine.
game. Core keeper. I always forget that there's not an S in there. With Astro, actually.
Yeah, it's the
Ooh.
Astro SMP. It's his server.
Yo.
Yes.
You know, it's interesting, and this might have had to do with the way we did our. We broadcasted SR Dice 2 and posted on Scratch at the same time, but it seems like this second episode did better on Scratch versus the old Tube, and I wonder if
true.
it also has to do with like the map or just people like being able to see who's talking. Or the emotes, where like the Scratch interface is now becoming superior to the YouTube interface.
That's crazy to me, and it's so true.
Honestly, you've made so many huge additions to the SRCast interface.
Yeah, like on Scratch. It's almost better than that on YouTube now. I am like trying to figure out how to make it so we can also see who's talking at which point on YouTube. That's gonna take a little more time. We're busy people, but I don't know. Until then, thank you for listening and watching wherever you are doing that, and for supporting us wherever you're doing that.
Supporting all of our
Very true.
series. We appreciate it. Obviously, we don't make our living off of SR or Scratch Running, but we really enjoy creating content for all of you listeners.
It's really fun.
It is.
Yep. It is. And more is coming with Arc working on
Ark's Corner. Yeah.
I've been uploading more gameplay videos.
the Scratch card game. If you want to see Kieran play that, want to see
Yeah.
Kieran fail at that,
Listen, Nick's been sneaky, but I have suspicions that there may even be a him yes quite thing or something like that, simply because they've been having secret calls.
What do you mean?
But that's just a Clab's theory. That's just a Clab's theory.
Now that's just a theory.
Can I keep that in the rumors corner and not tell you whether it is anything? Because
Sure.
I think it's funny.
Yeah,
It's very funny.
That people suspect that there could be something.
It's very
though
funny
nothing's happening at all.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Nothing going on. You know?
No, nothing.
Yeah. It's just,
But I'm gonna
Alright.
keep it like suspicious like this. And say
No,
it
dude,
like
Fringe of Forces 2 is gonna be crazy, right, Nick?
true.
this. What do you mean?
The rumors
know
are
if I can.
true.
What, there's-
All right, let's get Kieran say the funny, or let's all say our names.
Yeah.
I'm Clabs.
I'm Mark.
Crazy. I'm Apple Lord. Guys.
And I'm Kieran. I'm the host of the ScratchRunning Podcast. You know that.
Check out the projects. Check out the people. Check out whatever else you want to check out. Tell your friends about us if they are cool with it.
Yeah,
And if you're
tell
cool
a
with it.
friend. Tell your teacher. Tell someone.
Reel the fish. Reel the fish.
Reel the
Get that
fish.
Dude, I love fishing. I could talk for like 3 hours about fishing. The recording is now
No!
the recording has now stopped.
Nice.